Welcome. In this video, we will discuss about why the universe chose you and what it means to be the one who breaks the cycle. So, let's start. Hello there, you quiet storm. Yes, I am speaking right to the person who just learned the world had a secret talk about you and locked you out. A hidden group just handed you a heavy crown without your permission. Wild thought, right? It sounds so extreme. It sounds totally made up, but it is very real because this is exactly how your days have felt, right? People hiding in back rooms, people typing in text chats, people talking at family dinners, people at your job placing votes on you. They decide what you are allowed to do, while you just stand there looking down at your own two hands. You ask yourself, when on earth did I agree to all this pain? You never did. That is the cruel joke. Let us look closely at it. A leader who never begged to lead. You are born. You do not pick your own name. You do not pick your mom or dad. You do not pick your own shape and size. You for sure do not pick the deep pain and sadness, but they shove it onto your back anyway. What a fun gift to start with. And then every single person acts like they own a big piece of your soul. Be a sweet child. Pick this safe job. Play it safe. Do not make us look bad. Do not hope for too much. Do not mess up. Do not act strange. They draw a tiny square, they write your name on it, and then they call that tiny trap love or family rules or just the normal way of life. Secret hidden groups are everywhere. Inside your home, at your school, at your job, on the internet. And every single one of these groups acts like they know your heart much better than you do. But this special group, the exact one I am talking to you about right now, oh, they are very different. Because they did not just point fingers at you. They made you the chosen one. They saw you cry in pain. They saw you fall to pieces but still get out of bed. They saw you choke down a fierce anger that could burn down whole towns. They saw your kind heart get crushed into dirt, yet somehow it still kept pumping blood. And they pointed and said, "Look at them. They are the warning sign. A flash of light, a loud bell, a dark storm rolling in. You are not the perfect hero, and you are not the sad victim. You are the deep yearning. You are the big bump in the road. The huge error in their perfect plan, the real, walking, breathing proof that things cannot stay this way forever." You feel that deep inside your chest right now, do you not? That heavy weight, that loud humming, that hot anger that has nowhere to pour out. That deep feeling that tells you that you are never going to be just a normal face hiding in a big crowd. It does not matter how hard you fake it. Because you are not just a random person. You are the final spark. Let me tell you exactly why they never asked if you wanted this life. Because if they had asked you, you would have shouted no. You would have picked an easy bed to sleep in. You would have picked a boring, simple day. You would have begged for a gentle path, a happy tale, and zero painful cuts. You would have cried out, "Just let me be calm. I do not want to change the world. I just want peace." And they looked at your life story and they just smiled and laughed loud. They saw all those dark nights when your eyes stayed wide open. They saw those heavy mornings when your legs would not move. They watched the times you pulled your own body through total fire and pain, and nobody even clapped for you. Nobody even saw it. Nobody even gave a damn. They saw how you made it out alive from terrible things that were supposed to destroy you forever. They saw how you swallowed your loud cries just so you would not make other people afraid. How you bit your own tongue just to keep everyone else happy and calm. And then they saw a clear truth, a truth you try so hard to look away from. You do not shatter. You might bend low. You might bleed out. You might cry into pieces. But you never ever stay on the floor, and that scares people to death. Because a human being who refuses to stay on the floor is not just a human being anymore. They are a true force of nature. Just look back at your days. Try to tell me I am lying. You have been looked down on since the very day you were born. People speak right over your voice. People whisper behind your back. People use your kind heart. They call you the safe one, the silent one, the tough one. You hold all their messy drama on your back like you are getting paid to do it. Tell me, when was the last time a single soul asked you, "Hey, what makes you happy?" and truly cared about your answer? Never. Instead, they hand you a script to read. Be the perfect child. Be the worker who never whines. Be the buddy who just sits and nods. Be the lover who lets every bad thing slide. You were not even alive. You were being moved around like a toy, like a simple machine, like a piece of wood. And far down in your heart, a piece of your spirit began to die. You felt the rot. You knew, this cannot be my whole story. I am so much more than this tiny cage. But you had no clue how to break out of it, did you? So the universe made a hard choice. They said, if you will not walk into your true power on your own, they are going to pull you into it by force. They are going to place a heavy crown right on the very head that everyone tried to push down into the dirt. They are going to call you the loud bell that rings at the end of their old, boring story. They did not pick you because you are totally ready. They did not pick you because you feel brave or strong. They did not pick you because you know all the answers to the test. They made you the chosen one because your deep sadness has grown up. Your deep cuts have turned into clear-seeing eyes. You can see it all so clearly now. The lies people tell, the dirty tricks they play, the quiet stabs in the back, the wide fake plastic smiles. You see how the whole game is played. And once your eyes are open to the game, you can never close them again. That is exactly why you got picked. Not because you never make mistakes, but because you finally see the ugly truth. You might believe that being the special one means everyone will love and clap for you. Wrong. Being the chosen one means you are a big problem for everyone else. Being chosen means you step into a room and your simple breathing makes people shift in their seats. You make them squirm because you are the walking proof that their old lazy ways are finally dying out. You are the loud alarm bell that tells them their favorite lie is out of time. You are the child in the house who looks at them and says, "No, what you did to me was deeply cruel." You are the worker who speaks up and says, "No, working us to the bone is not okay. This is just pure greed." You are the buddy who finally says, "I am so sick and tired of being your dumping ground for sad feelings." You are the bold one who stops smiling at nasty jokes that are really just mean hits wrapped up in a laugh. You are the loud warning sign, and warning signs do not say please and thank you. They are the warning fire. That is the exact label they stamped next to your name. They did not write, "He is the sweet angel." They did not write, "He is the perfect, shiny kid." He is the warning sign, the loud crack that shows the wall is about to fall down, the dark clouds that prove a hard rain is going to drop, the breathing, walking proof that keeping your mouth shut is finally over and done with forever. Do you want to know what is deeply funny about all this? They really tried to crush your spirit so you would just sit and listen like a good dog. But the only thing they actually broke was your power to fake a smile. Let us take a hard look at that hot rage burning inside your chest. Yes, that exact one. The deep anger you bury alive when you say, "Oh, I am doing fine." The hot fire you cover up with silly pictures on your phone and staring at a bright screen deep into the dark night. The loud voice that shakes you awake at 3 in the morning. The voice that cries out, "This cannot be all there is to the world. This cannot be the end of my story." People have always told you that your anger is a bad, ugly thing. They said it is scary, selfish, and deeply rude. but not one single person ever told you the real, honest truth. Your deep, hot anger is pure proof. It is solid proof that your deep inner spirit still wakes up when someone hurts you. It is proof that your heart has not turned into a cold block of ice. It is beautiful proof that a piece of your soul completely fights back against living in a dark, tight prison cell. That is exactly why you got the heavy crown, because almost everyone else just goes totally blank. They turn off their hearts. They swallow the big lie that nothing can ever change, and they just float down the river like dead wood. But you simply cannot drink that poison. It gets stuck in your throat and makes you cough every single time you try. Do you feel that deep thing, that tiny hot fire glowing right inside your ribs at this very second? That is not you being weak. That fire is your heavy crown. Right now, you are trapped between two totally different lives. In the first life, you are still shrinking down to fit in. You just smile, you say yes, you follow the crowd. You are no trouble at all. But in the second life, you are the person throwing the chairs across the room. You are the one packing your bags and walking away. You are the one screaming out loud, "No, I am done. I will not live like this for one more day." And that choice scares you to your very bones, doesn't it? Because deep down you know, if you ever really let them see the fierce fire inside your soul, you can never ever hit the rewind button. You will lose friends. You will lose the pats on the back. You will lose that completely fake feeling of being part of the group, the same group that has been slowly feeding you dirty poison. So instead, you just sit there. You are half awake, half dreaming, barely breathing, and life just keeps throwing big warning signs right at your face. Panic attacks, total wipeouts, big fights, jobs blowing up in smoke, love falling into tiny pieces. Your very own bones and muscles are crying out loud with panic and total tiredness. This is not just by chance. This is not a string of bad luck. This is not the stars above trying to curse you. It is life itself smashing its fists on the front door of your soul, yelling, "Open your eyes. You are not just a shadow standing in the back. You are the loud thunder. Now step up and act like it." So, what does this actually look like in your daily steps? Let us bring this down to the real dirt. Being handed this heavy task without your permission means exactly this one thing. You do not get the easy prize of living a soft, sleepy, okay life anymore. Every single time you try to go back to sleep, something inside you feels deeply, horribly wrong. You feel like a liar. You feel lost. You feel totally empty inside. You simply cannot clock into those soul-crushing jobs anymore, because your deep spirit breaks out in hives when you are tossed around and treated like dirt. You cannot stay lying in bed next to certain people anymore, because your mind and heart are so sick and tired of being fed lies and kept starving with tiny little crumbs of fake love. You absolutely cannot keep smiling and saying yes when every drop of blood in your veins is shouting a giant no. You try so hard to shrink back into the old quiet you, but that skin just does not fit your bones anymore. It is exactly like trying to wear a tiny shirt from when you were a little kid. The seams tear apart, the collar chokes your throat. You look completely silly. That deep pain is your true calling trying to speak to you. And this is not a sparkly, bright, pretty hat from a sweet bedtime story. This is a heavy weight, a bleeding weight, a hard weight that makes your neck ache in pain. Being a true leader, stepping up to real power does not feel like a fun party. It feels like a giant rock on your back. It feels like a crushing squeeze. It feels like you are walking around holding a giant, unseen boulder that nobody else can even look at. And your mind keeps spinning, crying out, "Why does it have to be me? Why do I have to be the one who opens my eyes? Why do I have to be the one who smashes the old sick chains? Why is it my job to speak up, to take a hit, to rise up and be so much bigger? I will tell you why. because every single other person in the room got the exact same chance. Life handed them the cold, hard truth. Life handed them a chance to change, and they ran away and picked a soft, warm bed instead. But you did not run. Even on the days you really tried to run away, it never fully worked for you. You just kept seeing too much of the truth. Your heart kept breaking too deeply, and your mind kept screaming too loudly in the dark. So the universe made its final choice about you. They did not use pieces of paper. They used the hard facts of your life. They used the pure fact that you keep walking out alive from wildfires that were meant to burn you to ashes. They watched the wild way you always drag yourself off the floor. They saw the beautiful way you hold on to massive piles of guilt and tears, and yet you still reach out to love and help other people. They watched every single painful minute of it, and they finally said they have the strong back to carry the massive weight of being the loud alarm. We are not doing this because it is sweet. We are not doing this because it is kind. We are doing this because the world desperately needs it. Let us take a fast look at that word warning for just a minute. When normal people hear it, they shrink back and cry out, "Oh no, bad luck." That is so scary and dark. But a true warning sign is nothing more than a loud shout, a clear flash in the sky that proves a new day is rolling in, a deep truth that absolutely cannot be swept under the rug anymore. You are that loud, waking shout. You step your foot inside a room, and you are the breathing, walking proof that a human can crawl through total fire and still hold a tender heart. You show that you can be stabbed in the back and still give out love. You show that you can be pushed into the dirt and still fly up to the sky. You show that you can be beaten down hard and still say no to becoming a bitter, mean monster. That kind of spirit is so hard to find. It is wild. It is highly dangerous, because a soul with that much fire does not just survive the sick trap. They shine a bright light on it to burn it down. Just by drawing breath, you point a hard finger at every single fake lie in the room. Fake handshakes, fake promises, fake hugs, fake rules of right and wrong. You are the mirror that forces everyone to stare at the ugly dirt they tried to hide. Maybe you rip the Band-Aid off using your voice. Maybe you do it through the things you create. Maybe you do it by outworking them all. Or maybe you do it simply with your silent stare and your complete refusal to play the fool. But no matter what you do it, you walk around thinking you are just ordinary. You think you are just trying to survive until the sun goes down. You have absolutely zero clue how deafening your heart is. Just by showing the pure, raw truth that you are not okay with this miserable cage. And here is the sharp knife that really cuts deep. Being the one who breaks the mold means almost nobody is going to get you. They will point at you and say you are way too heavy. You cry too much. You make too big of a scene. You are too dark. You never smile enough. You are simply too much for them to handle. They will throw all of their deep, shaking fears right onto your shoulders. Why? Because every single time you ask a real question, it forces them to stare deeply into their own weak, shaking hearts. And humans would much rather point a finger and call you insane than look in the mirror and admit they are terrified. So they will loudly label you as the bad guy. They will say you are the one who ruined everything. The snob who thinks they are on top of the world now. The fool who forgot how to stay in line. And during all this noise, you will be sitting there feeling sick with guilt, just because you want a path that does not choke the life out of you day by day. That deep ache is the price of the crown. It is not about standing on a stage and having people clap for you. It is about holding the heavy duty of never ever lying to your own soul again. Let us look incredibly close right now. At this very second, there are big choices you are running away from, hard talks you are hiding from, raw facts you are choking down, leaps you are completely terrified to take. You lie to yourself and say it is not the right hour. You whisper to yourself that you need more time to prepare. You say, maybe next year. But listen to the brutal, ugly truth. Every single day you sit and wait. That heavy crown pushes harder into your skull. Every day you wait, your own flesh and blood screams louder in pain. Your brain starts to split in half. Your inner fire starts to turn to cold ash. You really believe that staying silent and small will protect you from the wolves. It will never protect you. It only acts as a slow poison that kills you quietly from the inside out. You actually believe that hiding your fierce strength today will somehow buy you an easy, soft road tomorrow? It will not. It only gives every greedy hand around you permission to keep draining the old, weak ghost of who you used to be. The quiet stars have already cast their vote. The solid ground of reality has already slammed the judge's hammer. Your deep, bleeding cuts have already stood up in court and told the whole truth about your strength. This wild spirit right here is absolutely not built to live a tiny, boring life. So the big question is no longer, did the universe pick me? The only real question left is, what on earth are you going to do about it today? You want clear, daily steps? Great. Here is exactly what putting on that heavy, unwanted crown looks like when you wake up in the morning. It looks like finally looking someone in the eye, saying no, and letting them throw a huge fit without you saying sorry a single time. It looks like packing your desk and walking out of that dead-end job that is sucking your blood dry, even if your wallet is totally empty and your mom and dad think you lost your mind. You do not do it like a crazy fool, but you do it with a pure, honest heart. It looks like packing your bags and walking away from a lover who only puts up with you instead of treating you like pure gold. A place where you are just an easy habit, not a beautiful soul. It looks like grabbing your deep tears and pouring them into your daily sweat, your messy art, and your big dreams. It means pointing at every deep cut on your skin and shouting, "All right, if I was forced to bleed through all this hell, I refuse to let it go to waste. I am going to use these bricks of pain to build a giant castle." It looks like being the brave, lonely soul in your bloodline who stands tall and yells, "This sick, dizzy ride stops right here with my heart." The loud fighting, the crying in the closet, the fake smiles, the quiet secrets, it all dies in the dirt right here, right now. Strong forces pushed by fate do not get sweet, easy bedtime stories for their start. They get thrown into blazing fire. They get pure madness. They get dark midnights where it feels like their very bones are being melted from the inside out. You know exactly what those dark nights feel like. And look at you. You are still breathing. That is not just a normal thing. That is not just a shoulder shrug. That is not just okay. That is a completely wild, magical kind of raw power. That is exactly why you make people shake in their boots. Because you did not just hide under a rock until the dark rain passed by. The wild lightning actually lives right inside your chest today. And if you can ever find the guts to stop saying sorry for simply breathing the air, if you can ever stop folding yourself into a tiny square just to make the weak people around you feel cozy, you are going to completely shatter and rebuild your reality. Maybe not the entire earth, but your own daily life. And that amazing shift is more than enough to matter. Thank you so much for watching this video today. If this message spoke to your heart, please remember that you are never alone on this journey. See you next time.